What is going on, everyone? My name is Jared. Today, we are talking about the highly controversial topic of why Huawei devices are not in the United States. So, I say not in the United States, I mean sold in carriers and stores. The Mate 9 and the Mate 10 both were sold as unlocked models at Best Buy and Amazon and things like that. And when the Mate 10 came out this past year in 2017, they were supposed to be partnering with some carriers, which is really the only way to gain a big amount of traction in the US because the majority of people do not buy their phones outright full price. They go to the carriers, get a deal, pay installments, things like that. Well, that didn't happen. It was a big ordeal. Verizon dropped, AT&T dropped, a whole lot of the reasons. And then shortly after that, Best Buy had said that they were going to stop selling Huawei devices, unlocked or whatever. And here we are today. So when the P20 Pro and P20 came out, I was hoping that it was going to be here in the US, at least at Best Buy, Newegg, B&H, whatever. And obviously it was not. So that was really unfortunate. It's a shame. And a lot of people will tell you a lot of reasons as to why the Huawei devices are not in the US anymore. So not to get too political or too into some controversial topics, I guess I would say. The basic gist, if you look up online, is security threats. Now, that is the big story. That is what everyone is saying online. You know, tons of different news outlets, because Huawei is a Chinese firm. It has big ties in Chinese telecom. They are one of the largest, if not the largest company in China. They produce everything from small appliances to routers to cell phones. You name it, they make it basically in China. They are huge, just like Xiaomi and other brands. So the big deal is, I think the US is more than anything trying to keep them out because they are such a big company. But there's a lot more to it than just, oh, they don't want Huawei in the US, because they've been selling track phones and prepaids and things like that for a very long time in the United States without a problem, as well as several phones now unlocked at retail outlets. It's kind of going to be, at least here's what I think. So this is totally opinion based. This isn't factual. This isn't written down anywhere. This isn't the gospel, as you would say. But here's my feeling on it. So Samsung makes two different devices, international and United States. United States models always run Qualcomm Snapdragon processors, always. You never see a US model, Galaxy, or any variation of Samsung device running their own Exynos version of their chip here in the United States. All the other Androids that get released in the US also run Snapdragon processors. The only outlier to that whole thing is Apple, and they run their own chips in their own phones. They never have touched really Qualcomm, at least recently, or the last memorable time. They've always used their own chips for as long as I can remember. Now, I didn't have the first iPhone and things like that, so I can't say off the top of my head what processor the first iPhone had, but of recent, iPhone has been making their own chips, Apple's making their own chips, putting them in their phone, selling them here in the US. My theory is, and you can feel free to disagree, agree, comment, partially agree, whatever, leave it in the comments, is that Qualcomm has something to do with this. And I would say because Huawei makes their own chipsets, the high Kirin silicon chips, which are very powerful, great performing chips, and I bet they are worried that they will lose market share to devices that are not selling or shipping with their chips. Same reason why you can't buy Exynos versions in the United States of Samsung's processor or Samsung's phones, when a lot of studies show that Exynos is in fact more powerful than Qualcomm Snapdragon. I think that's the main outlying reason. They say security, but if the device was so insecure, if the Mate 10 or P20 Pro was so insecure, why wouldn't more countries say, boy, this device is insecure? we're not going to sell it. But you don't see that. There's tons of European countries that do, in fact, sell the Huawei, many different models of Huawei, especially the newest, P20 Pro, P20, all of that in their carrier stores. T-Mobile has their parent company over there, Dutch Telecom, Orange, you name it. There's a ton. I looked up because when my girlfriend went to Amsterdam in the Netherlands, I wanted her to buy a P20 Pro and bring it back here to the States because it was so hard to get your hands on one unless you either paid more or wait tons of time getting it from China or overseas. That's the thing. If those devices were so insecure, why isn't more countries saying that, you know what, this phone is way too insecure, we're not going to have it, it's a security risk, which is what the US is blaming this whole thing on. And with that, ZTE, which is another Chinese brand, was in fact banned, and now the ban's been lifted for the same security threat reason. Now, ZTE is smaller than Huawei. I would expect their devices to be, not going to say inferior, but I would say that Huawei is a more established brand, and if ZTE is allowed, why isn't Huawei? Now, that's my main argument. I think it has to do with Qualcomm making their processors and not allowing more competition into the States because they're afraid that they're going to lose revenue, lose market share, because who knows, Huawei may try to sell chips to other manufacturers if they're doing well in the United States. So that's the thing. Huawei is a huge company. Right now is in second place, only to be associated with Apple and Samsung in that top spot for smartphone sales and manufacturing. So, goes to show you how big this company really is. And there's a lot of people in the US, unless you're an enthusiast, someone who always reads, Android Police, Android Authority, whatever news outlet you want to listen or read, you're not going to know who Huawei is. I know a few years ago, I'm like, wow, this device is really cool. And I bought, I believe it was the Mate 7, which really wasn't in the United States. I brought it over. It didn't work that great. Didn't have the right bands. Neither here nor there. It was just so different and so new. I liked it. Since then, I followed them, and I really do like their products. Their products are great. I think they are on par with every other big brand, and I don't understand why they're not around in the United States more. So my big thing is, I will say, and maybe you'll see it in the future or whatever the case, maybe you won't ever see it reported. The news will say that it's for security reasons, that they're worried that the Chinese government is spying on all of their Chinese branded phones. And while there is a lot of restrictions to the phones in China, I don't necessarily think that is the issue. That is the reported issue. My personal opinion is I feel like it's either lobbying from companies like Apple and Samsung or companies like Qualcomm making their Snapdragon processor to not allow them into the US for the sake of competition. So that's what I have to say about that. It is a shame that Huawei is not here in the United States. I would love to have gotten my hands on P20 Pro, go into the store, like Best Buy, whatever, to get one and not have to import it from Newegg, from Italy, or going to GearBest and ordering it from there and have it take 20 days to get to the States. That's just, I could have gotten it. Would have just taken some work and effort that I just didn't really want to put into. So, with that said, let me know in the comments below what you think. I know on another video about the Mate 10 Pro, I had a bunch of comments about, why isn't Huawei in the US? A lot of different opinions. I'd love to talk about it more in this video, saying that this is more dedicated to it. The Mate 10 Pro is a great device. From what I see, the P20 Pro is an animal. Again, I haven't had my hands on it. It's a photographer's dream if you know how to use it right. And like I said, it's a shame it's not here in the US. So anyway, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, let me know what you think about this whole not letting Huawei into the States. I wish Huawei and Xiaomi and all of them came to the States. More competition is a good thing, in my opinion. Helps drive prices down, hopefully. That's why, as much as I'm happy that T-Mobile is merging with Sprint, because potentially it means better service for me, less competition allows prices to go up because you have no other choice. So anyway, let me know what you think, and I will see you all in the next video.